Okay. And now it says you are using the computer audio. Go ahead. Go ahead. I got to turn off the clicks on my baseball app. That's what that is.
Okay, give me 1 second.
I hear you over the machine.
Okay, give me 1 second, okay? I'm gonna mute myself on the machine.
Okay, go to it. All right, I will be back in 30 seconds. I am back. You're still there, right? No, I'm not in a rush. Okay, I'll hear you through the computer, right? All right, goodbye. Hello?
Hello, give us a couple of seconds.
No, that was me, Ray.
That was you. Oh, okay.
That was me. I was just curious. Who?
Okay, just give me 1 second, okay?
All right. Ray, you got a minute? Oh. Yeah, Ray? Ah,
Yes, Professor.
no, when it clicks, I thought you were trying to reach me.
Give me 1 second. 1 second.
Okay, no problem. You got 6 people out there.
Yeah.
There was this weird issue where basically it wouldn't, if I would click the link, right, it would open up a link.
I'll speak a little louder, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to speak louder. I ended up finding a little issue where if you click the Zoom link, right, it would end up, let me try it again, 1 second, just to be on the safe side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the website, right? Because it works fine on GitHub, right? But GitHub pages are entirely different. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
So if I go to 304, 1 second, I'm just checking something. And if I click on this, and I'll click on the new tab, right? Yeah. So what'll end up happening is that the URL might have a success after it, a hashtag success, right? It automatically adds it for whatever reason. And as a result, it doesn't prompt people to open Zoom meetings to enter the website. I added a note on the web page that basically lets them know, hey, you have to add remove that success indicator. This way, it will let them join the Zoom meeting much more efficiently, right?
All right. Oh, so when it's clicking that there, we have 7 participants now.
Yeah. So if you pay attention to the URL in your browser, if it has a success after the link, it may not prompt you
8.
to open the meeting. You just characters and hit enter it. No page.
You have a class at 3:30 somewhere else?
1 second. No, I have no class.
I was going to say if you could study in the background and sort of be there in case things blow up again. That's all.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, everything is ready to go. Everything is set. Okay, Professor, as we practiced, green share button.
I should click that.
Yep.
And how about joining audio? Don't worry about that yet?
I can hear you, so it's fine. If you want to join with audio, you can close that.
All right, so just for now, I'll click on share screen.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, on the left is the screen window. We got a whiteboard, an iPhone. Activate your Zoom account.
It's going to be the top right screen, and then there's going to be a blue button.
So it's the iPhone, iPad?
No, don't touch those. You know where? Yeah, there's going to be a blue button on the bottom right. Just click that.
Where it says share.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to click that.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can now all see your entire screen. I'm going to request remote access.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to request it.
And I'm going to approve.
Yeah. Okay, so we have your PowerPoints right over here. So everything is set up as usual. You click that little button on the corner, and it will open up the little
So I should click on the PowerPoint icon.
Yeah. You click on that, it'll still do the slideshow, but not yet. 1 second.
All right, I didn't.
I'm going to go over here. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go.
This is AI.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to the course webpage, go to 304, and just load up the lectures here as well, just because why not? Because the thing is that your PowerPoint version is a little old, so there may be instances where certain slides, like, they just don't convert properly. So, like, you're going to have an empty slide somewhere, like this one, for example, right? Like, this is a corrupted slide. This is a compatibility. It's a compatibility issue. Don't blame me. Blame Microsoft.
No, I got you.
But this is universally compatible. It works with all computers, all machines. Let me just.
The GitHub pages.
This version, this Google version. Yeah, it works with everything.
So then, yeah, let's always use the Google version.
So everything is set. I'm going to be in the background. So yeah, but.
Yeah. Like I said, you don't need to participate. But if you hear me crying, the students are there. They can laugh. They understand. If they hear my tears, then you'll come running back and rescue me.
Yeah. So everything is set. We have unlimited time. Right? We have the 2 hours and 45 minutes set up.
Oh, I don't think they want that much of me, but certainly an hour and a quarter would be nice.
Yeah. Well, the after class, if you want to conduct office hours.
No, I will. And the woman, did you get her email off the Gmail account of mine? Because
I sent her.
Maybe we had the wrong email address.
I just sent her the link. She emailed me back saying thank you. So she's probably.
All right. So she's out there somewhere.
Yeah, she has
What's
access.
her name? Aksa or Aksa? Well, I'll ask.
Aksa. Yeah, Aksa.
It's like a Q or K.
Well, you pronounce it like a K. Aksa Malik. Yeah, that's a Pakistani name.
Is that Iraq or what country?
It's just a Muslim name, but yeah, it's pretty popular in Pakistan.
Okay. Oh, your country. Okay. Oh, so now I'd like the notes a little larger. Should I be hitting view or just leave it?
Give me 1 second.
And Who's my clicker today?
Whoever you nominated. So who did we nominate in this class? We nominated Bavish and who else? I
Say his
forgot.
name again, because
Anvin and Bavish, right?
Anvin, yeah, that's who it was.
Okay, so I'm just going to click view. I'm going to click present. And then what I'll do is I'll make sure to do it like this so that.
Oh yeah, this
nothing-
is plenty large.
Yeah.
We
wanna
got
make a
we got 15.
Well, let's wait because we have 4 minutes. It's not 3:30 yet.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so if they want to ask any.
Unless they get tired and all ran to the other class, I don't know.
Yeah, so what lecture do you want to cover? 1B, 1 intro 2? Which one?
There's no B. It's one intro.
Lecture two?
We finished with one, I thought. Click on. Let's go through that quickly.
Well,
Wait,
what we'll do is
Let
I'll
me
open up.
do it.
I'll open both of them. 1 second. Let me just open up both of them. 1 second. Wait.
And we're gonna need 3 later as well.
Yeah. So I'll have them all open side by side. So each tab will have its own lecture open. So I can open up the third one over here as well. Let me open this one as well.
Is Anvin there?
Yeah. I don't think he's here yet. Oh,
Okay.
he's here. Okay, I can hear him. So this is lecture 1. This is lecture 2. This is lecture 3. Let me just set it up so that you can present each one, right? Let me just make it so that it doesn't take the entire page. So you can easily shift between lecture 1,
2,
Lecture
and
two.
where's 3?
right there.
Oh, can't tell what it's
Present.
about yet. Okay.
Don't worry.
All right, I'll know it when I see it.
You don't see your screen? I'm on your
Yeah,
screen.
I see it where it says lecture 3. I don't see all the notes at once.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay.
And
So yeah, we're up to 21, 22,
Did you cover all of this?
23. Yeah, I see it. Oh yeah, keep going with that. Keep going. Yeah.
I think we finished lecture 1.
Yeah, we're done. Put on 2, Anvin.
Let me do it 1 second. So this is lecture 2. That's lecture 3.
Yeah, we're not going to go past that.
Okay. So
Put on
okay.
2. See what the heck 2's got. I think this is my favorite.
Okay, interesting. So this is getting cut off on the bottom. Let me make it full screen. Interesting.
Yeah, if this works throughout the whole semester, Ray, I'm going to have to get married to you. I'll forget about women. This is a pain.
Don't worry about it.
God, I hope the world goes back. Well, the spring starts the end of January. We're not going to be out of this by then. My prediction was March.
Oh God.
If we
Oh,
buy the vaccine on the black market.
Oh God.
All right, we got 30, 32. Yeah, so we want lessons 2 and 3. 1 is, Anvin told us, yeah, we finished all that. We got 1 more minute. We're up to 33.
1 second. I'm just
And
trying
the
to-
other 15 students think we're not going to make it without a 40-minute gap, so they.
Oh no, it'll work this time. I guaranteed it. It's in the announcements. I made sure to guarantee it.
All right.
We have Zoom Premium. All the chaos is over.
Are we paying for that? Did they get
No.
my credit card number? I wasn't sure what I entered.
City College.
Yeah, the hell with them. Yeah, they should have done that, in advance. NYIT never gave me trouble like this. I had the premium version of everything, back in April when this stuff started.
Let me click on this. Okay.
Oh,
so,
35. Yeah.
So this is okay. So now if we go back, right, nothing seems to be cut off, which is good. Okay. Here,
Beautiful.
right.
Yeah, we want lesson 2.
Yeah. 1 second. I'm just can I just go through
2
this
and
for a
3.
second?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead. There's the
What slide is this? This is the PDA? Okay, 1 second. Let me just, see, things are getting
the
cut
students
off.
don't believe we made it this far without an interruption, so they're happy.
Oh, God. PDAs give me PTSD because you gave me an unsolvable problem.
I made a mistake. That was a year ago. Because I was making them up so quickly at the end.
Oh God. Oh God. I remember that PDA problem, man. I still get
Well,
nightmares
that's
about
good
it.
for you. Yeah, 39. We got about 7 more. I don't know. Students. Yeah, we're up to 40.
Okay, that's good. While I'm at it, might as well add.
I'll be right back. Don't move, Ray.
Okay, let me see if there's any more slides where it got cut off. What the hell is this? Oh, okay. Okay, so that's good. So everything is set up properly. Okay, let me go to File, Present, and okay, so we can easily shift between Lecture 2 and 3. Let me just take a quick look at
All
Lecture
right,
3.
I'm back. Yeah, okay.
Let me just take a quick look at Lecture 3 to make sure that there's nothing cut off or anything like that.
Okay.
Just to make sure that, you know, we're not in any type of issue. Okay, nothing seems to be obviously broken, so the conversion was good. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
All right, so take us back to the beginning of lecture 2.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to go
Okay.
over here. I'm going to go to the lecture 2. This is the beginning of lecture 2. I will give
And if you
control.
hear tears, you can get back here.
Okay.
I cry at sad movies and Zoom lectures, so I just want you to know.
Okay, so now I'm going to give up remote access.
But you're still in earshot distance. Okay.
I'm here.
All right, then we're not going to bother you, but yeah. And Anvin, you got the clicker, right? I don't have to touch anything.
Hold on. Let me request the control.
Go ahead. You request and I grant.
I requested.
Don't run away with my machine, though. Okay. If I see it moving off my bed over here, I'll cry also. Okay. And we got 42 people, so that's close to the population size.
Okay, Professor, after the class is done, don't immediately exit the Zoom meeting.
No. I always, in case they have questions.
Not even that. No. I want to be able to access your computer remotely at the end of class.
No, sure, and get ready for the next class. Whatever you. Yeah.
No. I just wanna get the recording for the lecture, the MP4 video.
You got it. I'm not going to take it off.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Let me know when I can start.
You can start anytime you want. We're ready to go.
All right, thank you. All right, Anvin, so you got the clicker. We have to learn to synchronize so you could tell when my voice stops long enough. Okay, so theoretical computer science, okay, you can click. Oh, I was starting to make all the words we used. It was too much work, so I gave up on that. All right, you can go. All right, so yeah, the 3 models of computation. Your book, by now you should have it. And be careful. This is not the kind of course where you just read the notes and say, yeah, that looks nice. You have to do the problems. There is homework at the end of each section, and he's got some at the end. You have to try some of them. And the syllabus lays out the ones I think are important. This is like a physics course. What you do in physics? You shoot a cannonball off at 23 degrees from the ground at an initial velocity of 200 miles per hour, whatever it's traveling. How far will the cannonball travel before it hits the ground? You're not going to be able to do that for the first time just by reading the book. It's just not going to work. You got to try some of these problems. Yes, I hope I didn't include the answer sheet. I got to talk to Ray later. But the point is, you can't even look at the answers and assume you understand what's going on. You have to try to answer the questions on your own. So again, every semester I get a few students who think, they can just read it like a novel and get through the course. It's not going to work. All right, peace. All right, so the Turing machine, what we're saying here is the Turing machine is a reasonable model of computation. So what we mean by that is that in a finite amount of time, I know you think these lectures go on for an infinite amount of time, but for a finite amount of time, we can do a finite amount of work. And the other two models that we said we'll get to, your book starts with Turing machines. Other books, if you look at like Sipser or what have you, you might see that they begin with a finite state machine, get to a push-down automaton, and then up to a Turing machine. We go backwards, or we start at the top. So here we are up in heaven, Turing machine, that's it. You know, that's the best we can do. Now, your book has about 10 different models of computation. So we're not going to get into Markov machines and labeled Markov algorithms and a bunch of others, you know, recursive procedures. We might spend 2 or 3 minutes on each of those at the end of, you know, in a couple of months or whatever. But these three, you have to know how they work, and you have to know how to build models, circles and lines, as we say. So other models, we said finite state machine. We said that will come in handy when you build hardware circuits. And push-down automata will be useful when you build compilers, parsing algorithms. Many times we'll use push-down automata as the theoretical underpinning. We used that phrase, you know, earlier in the course, 2 lectures ago. Okay, Anvin. There they are, the 3 of them. I'm not going to say them again. So tonight, your homework is to dream about these 3 machines. Okay, maybe since Ray is making a tape of the lectures, that was big many years ago. People would try to learn a foreign language by listening to a tape. Je m'appelle Etienne. Je suis très fatigué. And it would keep going, and you'd wake up being able to speak French well. Okay, so automaton, we went through this last time. That Professor Burr, he retired, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. He used to yell at me all the time. He used to correct my grammar on the midterms. But yeah, I said, when I'm giving you a proof, stop correcting my grammar. Yeah, so, all right, finite state machine only has a finite amount of memory. And it's fixed in advance, a priori. So you can't go to Best Buy and ask them for more memory. Okay, with a Turing machine, the amount of memory is unbounded. We don't really say infinite. You know, it's like you can always add more memory when you want it. There's SIM or whatever, but with a Turing machine, it is unbounded. Okay. So a push-down automaton has both, there's 2 kinds of memory. You got an output tape and you got a stack memory. The stack is unbounded. And again, I like to go through the course quickly. I know we had 4 40-minute disasters in the past, but you know what I mean. And then we obviously will have more detail later on. So it's the stack that's unbounded. All right, go ahead. So for a finite state machine, your input tape, and I see a left parenthesis, right, okay? And there's a read head. And notice there's 1 symbol per cell. We call those little square cells, C-E-L-L, just like the trillions of cells you have in your body. It's used to write whatever you're writing. So there's the read head down there at the bottom. And you got a control. The control is like the brains of the system. It's the algorithm on, you know, how the heck to run this thing. And your program, list of instructions. Sometimes, if you look at some textbooks, they may have an output tape as well. Be careful. We're not really writing an output. It just sort of tells us where we are. We'll see examples when we get to chapter 9. So the head can only read an input tape. Writing is forbidden. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. Colombo, If you look at the, oh, I don't know, what the hell, MeTV? You're not supposed to, I can look at TV. I'm an old guy. I should relax more. But you should be studying all the time. But in any case, there's a nice show, Columbo, that was 100 years ago. And always somebody committed a murder at the beginning of the episode. And Columbo spends the whole hour trying to figure out who the heck did it, who killed the person. And he runs around, he's got a little book, a little notebook, and he writes down, you know, he asks questions and he's always writing in his little book. The finite state machine can't write. And of course, if you've ever seen this show, the trademark scene is where he's saying one more thing. And he's sort of pushing the door in so you can't get rid of him. You know, a cop who just won't go away. Well, he's a, what is he, a lieutenant? But he won't leave you alone. So one more thing. But these finite state machines cannot write. Columbo used to write. And the number of states, we said last time, the state of the system is a summary of the input history of the system. We were talking about soda machines, you know, and if you see it's got 55 cents, you don't know what coins were put in, but you know that the sum of the money in there is 55 cents. All right, so a state is an abbreviation of all the inputs that have come in so far. Well, for this episode, not episode. I got my mind on the TV. Okay, movement is in one direction only. The head always moves to the right, but a Turing machine can go left and right. One more thing. I used to talk about a two-way finite state machine. It's like a theoretical interest, but you could look it up, you know, 2TWA or 2FA. And we could prove, I used to prove it, I guess in a graduate course, that a two-way finite state machine is no more powerful than a one-way finite state machine. So one that can move left and right. We could, if you're interested sometime, if we ever see each other in person, I would sit down and show you what the proof looks like. Okay, Anvin, sorry. All right, so here's a FSM. We said we love abbreviations in this course. So a finite state machine, by the way, sometimes we say FSM, sometimes we say finite acceptor, FA, or finite state acceptor, FSA. Every textbook uses a different one of those. Pick your favorite, FA, FSA, whatever the heck the other one was. All right. And you want to build it to recognize parenthesized expressions. I am sure when you started programming, you got the cryptic messages from the compiler. And one of them was when you were trying to write the correctly parenthesized arithmetic expressions. And somehow you'd always screw up, so you had one more left paren than right, or, you know, vice versa. So here, I see, again, that's a left parenthesis. So when I say left, I mean a left parenthesis. Okay, so I see, and that's a bullet item right before left, right, comma, left, left, right, right, comma, and left, 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 right, right, right. Now, what I'll often say is left to the first, right to the first. So I'm using exponents, but there's no exponents in this course. We're not doing calculus. When I say left to the third, the little 3 as a superscript, and right to the third, you know, a little 3 again as a superscript, that stands for the last of the 3 strings that you see up there. Left, 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 right, right, right. That's too much work. So left to the third, put the 3 up there on the top. Right to the third, yeah, you can see me, so there I am going to the top. Okay. That would be accepted, but left, left, comma, no, left, left is not accepted. That's 2 left parentheses, that's not correct. Left, right, right, that's not correct. left to the first, right to the second. And let's see, left, right, right. No, so it wouldn't be. So here, this picture is a state diagram of a particular finite state machine. We'd like to give these machines names. So the name of this machine, it's not like a dog, if you call its name, it's gonna come, but capital M sub 1. This is my notation. So this is finite state machine 1, M sub 1. And in this course, a lot of the times we're using circles and lines. Q0 resides within a circle, and then you see a line, a red line, going from Q sub 0 over to Q1. So when you see Q0 with the circle, that's a state. What state? State 0. There's nothing gospel about Q sub 0. Sometimes you might catch me putting a capital A inside the circle. So then we're calling it state A. Doesn't matter. Again, every book has its own notation. You just get used to it. Now, over to the right. Go to the right 2 circles. And actually that's what I wanted to say. You have 2 circles, state Q2, and then it's got 2 concentric circles. You can see that, I'm sure. When you have a double circle, that means that the state is an accept state. Now, we were talking about a soda machine as well, that's a silly, example, but it's easy to remember, So a double circle would be equivalent to you put in enough money. And actually at City College, we're charging more than New York Institute, where I was moonlighting the past couple of years. They only pay $1.75 for soda. You got to find out why. They have more money than us. Okay, so double circle means it's an accept state. What does that mean? It means the string that got you there. We're concerned with the path from Q0 to a double circle state. So look at the machine, look at Q0, and suppose we see a left paren. You notice the arrow going to the right sends us into Q1. Another right paren, and the arrow sends us into Q2. So if the string left, right, I'm saying left paren, right paren, comes in, the machine, M1 of course, finds itself in state Q2, Q sub 2, which means the string that got us there. So corresponding to every input string is a path through the machine, one unique path. All right, maybe I shouldn't say this now, but I will. This machine, this finite state acceptor, this finite state machine, this FA, call it what you like, is a deterministic finite state machine. If this were a philosophy course, we could argue all semester whether people have free will. When you wake up in the morning, when you woke up, you were saying to yourself, oh my God, we got Lucci's course again. I wonder if he's going to give us a headache with, 3 40-minute interrupts, and he's going to expect us to stay there and watch a blank screen. No. I mean, or maybe you do something else. You drink a big cup of coffee when you wake up. But most people would like to think that they have free will, so you can do as you please. This machine is deterministic, which means if you start in Q0 and you see a left paren, this machine, the expression in English would be, you can bet the house, which means you're pretty confident that the machine is going to go to state Q1. So that's deterministic. We have a function. Well, I guess we talk about functions a little later. Okay, so corresponding to left, right, by now you can read it the way I do, a left parenthesis followed by a right parenthesis, the machine ends up in state Q2. Since state Q2 is denoted with a double circle or two concentric circles, you know that left paren, right paren is in the language. What the heck language? Correct parenthesized expressions. Now, we'll talk about languages later. I don't know, lesson 3, 4, you'll see it. It's coming up. But you don't build a computer, you don't build an algorithm for just one string. In fact, most of the languages we talk about are infinite or, damn large. English, I don't know. It used to be, oh my God, is it 1,025,017, something like that, for the number of words in the English language. What was that word? Cyrus, you know who I mean, that young woman, twerking. I think she made up that word. She's dancing provocatively in front of some guy. So that's twerking. That's a recent word, 7, 8 years ago. So English is a growing language. It's not infinite, but it's, well, I guess the number of words is finite, but the number of sentences you can form is infinite. Okay, so now let's go
Professor, I
back.
have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please. I can't see you. You could see me. See, I know that you're so happy I'm handsome, but no, I can't see you. That's what we give up to have the screen here. There'll be sometimes later on when I may want to be able to see you just to give you a rough time. But go ahead. Who is, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I don't get to see the names. Go ahead.
yeah.
Who are you first?
Oh, I'm Michal.
Say it again.
Michal.
Mikal?
Yeah, that's good. That's good enough.
What country you from?
I'm Israeli.
Ah, what city?
Jerusalem.
I spent a couple of months in Israel. When I came back, my mother didn't recognize me. I was in such good shape. I worked on a kibbutz. I was picking oranges and cutting down banana trees, getting rid of some of the branches. But no, it's a beautiful country. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm listening. Enough of my hot air.
I had a question about the second expression that should be accepted. So if it's left, left, right, right, on the drawing, it doesn't go.
My left. Wait a minute. Hold on. No. This machine is, hold it. I see. Yeah. Go back on, Vin, one slide.
Yeah, I think the drawing, it's relating on.
Okay, stop.
Yeah.
So, no, this machine, this algorithm, I say machine, it's we said the other day, it's not concrete. This algorithm has been built to recognize the string or the finite language, left paren, right paren. Yes, you want the algorithm to recognize all well-balanced parenthesized expressions. This is just recognizing one parenthesized expression. It is not going to recognize left, left, right, right, because we didn't build that algorithm yet. And a further thing, in lecture 1, we talked about unsolvable problems. Maybe we called them undecidable, right? If the answer is yes or no to a question, then we talk about, decidability. But this is getting ahead of ourselves. But recognizing well-balanced parenthesized expressions on a finite state machine is an unsolvable problem. You can't do it. You can recognize left, right. You can recognize the language left, right. I'm putting a comma now because, you have more than one string in the language. Left, left, right, right, and then close the bracket. So that's a language with 2 strings. But you can't recognize the entire language of well-balanced parenthesized expressions using a finite acceptor. This type of device can't be done. And again, I don't know, in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, we'll be able to prove that. I don't go into pumping lemmas. I don't know. We'll see how much time we have later in the course. But mathematically, we can prove that the language consisting of all strings that are well-balanced, parenthesized expressions cannot possibly be recognized on a finite state machine or a finite acceptor. Can't be done. And we're going to prove it. So the question you were asking, it can't be done on, excuse me, it can't be done on this model of computation. What model? The finite state machine model. This is an instance of the finite state machine. There's an infinite number of finite state machines you can build, but none of them will be capable of recognizing the language you were talking about. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I won't be able to prove that yet. We'll be smarter, as the course goes on. You'll see. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And here at the bottom, a finite state machine or finite acceptor. Don't get used to just one expression. Again, because there's so many textbooks and they all have different notation. So FSM, FA, FSA, that's finite state acceptor. So an FSA or an FA is a finite state machine being used to accept a language or a set of strings. To accept means anytime a string comes in that's in a particular language, the algorithm says yes. It doesn't really talk the way we're talking, but it ends up in a doubly circled state, and that means yes. Okay. All right, Anvin, go ahead. Oh, so there you go. This is actually your point. We've built an FSM to recognize the string, and I'm putting quotes around it. Well, single quote, left, right. So M1 is capable of recognizing this string. Now, as for your, say your name again.
Mikhail.
Mikhail. Weren't you sending me emails recently?
No, probably wasn't me.
All right. That name sounds familiar. All right. Okay, so we built a machine, an algorithm. I say machine. I don't want you to think about gears and oil and whatever, machines have. It's an algorithm, but we say machine sometimes. Now we want to design a finite state machine to recognize the set of strings, and we use curly brackets because languages are really sets. So back to your 104 days, discrete math. We're going to be, reviewing that as well. So this language contains the strings, two distinct strings, left, right. Okay, comma just means, we're done with that. And the other element in the language is left, right, right. That's it. So M2, we got a problem. Usually I get up and construct this algorithm. I think there's no answer. Quickly go to 11. I don't think I have the answer. Oh, yeah, go back, Anvin. Yeah, so again, this is where I get out of my seat in the class and go to the board and use some truck. I need to start learning how to do those things in a virtual world. All right, we'll get to Ray, and he'll make a computer scientist out of me yet.
I'm here.
Who's that?
You need any help?
No, not today, but let me give you this question, and you'll have the answer.
Okay.
I would like to be able to write. What do I need, a tablet?
You might.
So I'd like to be able to draw a finite state machine on the screen, or draw it in my lap here and show it to you. I'm not going to do it today because I'm so happy we haven't been cut off by Zoom, so I'm going to keep talking. But obviously, occasionally I do need to write as well. Go ahead.
So luckily for you, your computer has a touchscreen, so you can use something like an open. Can I remotely control it?
Like a pencil? A pencil that doesn't have ink on it? That type of the ones that come with tablets?
Give me 1 second. I requested remote access.
I don't want to do it today, but I want to know we can do it.
Yeah, you can use something like OneNote or GIMP or whatever, and then you can simply write. If you touch your screen,
All right, no,
it
no,
should
okay,
write.
so we don't want to interrupt the flow of the class, but I need to, maybe you show me how to do that over the
After
weekend.
class. After class.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so yeah, so we do need to do that. Okay. Oh, am I giving you control again, Ray? What are you doing here?
You could close it. It's good. It's fine.
All right, so I'm declining. Ah, and it just stayed there, so I got to approve it whether I want to or not. All right, so the problem is unsolvable. Again, like I said, I need to show you what the heck I'm talking about. Okay. Oh. Okay, we'll come back. But again, this M2, which is yet to be built by us, would recognize left, right, left, left, right, right. Let's build it in our, no, I'm not going to build it. Let's start to imagine it in our heads. Start state, see a left parenthesis, go to state 2. All right, in state 2, see a right paren. Is that good or bad? Should that be accepted, that string? Who's out there? Let's see. I got Malik, I got Anvin, I got Victoria. Who else is here? I think I know some of you, but you're hiding from me. You know, once I know your name, there's nowhere for you to hide. All right, so left, right would be accepted. Left, left would be tentative. You wouldn't reject it because maybe what's coming up is 2 right parentheses. But left, left, left is going to go to a reject state. So reject state, all right, some of you are religious, don't get upset. I actually was #1 in release time instruction, religious instruction. Not because I was the most religious, because I had the best memory. So left, left, left would be rejected. I think of it as, well, that's, never mind. I'll get into some debates on religion then. But there's no way to rescue left, left, left because you don't have 3 left parens and 3 rights in this language. So, okay, I need to draw this. Ray's going to show me how to do all these things. All right, peace. Anvin, click. Oh, I see. We got to take it away from Ray. Okay. So push that. Again, this is where we're just introducing things lightly. So relax. We'll spend, 3 classes on PDAs and 3 or 4 on finite state machines. But like I said, we get a quick overview. So can the language of well-balanced parenthesized expressions be recognized on a PDA? Again, push down automaton. So again, abbreviations. I got the maintenance people working on the apartment next door to me, so I hear a lot of noise in my background. Hopefully you don't get all of it. Anvin, click, yeah. So here's a model of a push-down automaton. I had the students, make the PowerPoints from my written notes, and it was too tough to make the diagram, so I still have this. So this is how a push-down automaton looks. And again, later in the course, we'll actually, you're seeing theory. There are practical applications for all of this. Otherwise, we wouldn't waste the time discussing it. And again, when you want to build software, a compiler that's capable, we went through this, of translating high-level languages. We said like Java, C++, Fortran, COBOL. Oh, there's some more out there, obviously. You often will build a compiler based upon a theoretical model, and we'll we'll go into a little bit of detail, but again, you need a whole semester, and that's where Professor Vulas comes in handy, his course. So here's a PDA, a push-down automaton. And notice it's got three pieces, three components. You got a read head. So again, those boxes up there, they're called cells, just like with your finite state machines. And in high school, back in my old Stuyvesant days, the mechanical drawing, oh my God, I forgot his name, the teacher, 100 years ago. But when you have that little zigzag on the right, that means it's unbounded. So there's not just 5 boxes or 5 squares. Again, we call them cells, C-E-L-L-S. There's more, but only the first 4 are written on. And that arrow going up to the leftmost cell is the read head. So think of it like in the old days, we used to have 8-track tapes. You put them in your car. Then what do we have? Oh, I don't know. You would, okay. My brain will come back later. So the input tape has the string. We call it a string, right? There's 4 components, left, left, right, right. So the read head is looking at the first left parenthesis. Okay, so the read head. The control, oh, by the way, of course, you observe that a PDA has 2 heads. One is the read head to read what it is that we're supposed to be analyzing. No writing, right? We said Columbo could write, you know, where were you the night that the person was killed? You know how murder mysteries go. And the other head is a read-write head. So you can read something into a cell, and you can also write something into a new cell. Z sub 0, you took data structures, and you don't want underflow, you don't want overflow. You know, if you take too much out of a stack, let's see, you're in the cafeteria, and usually they stack. No, this is the old days. They don't let us have plates anymore. I guess there's no food either because we're over here. But Z sub 0 is a special symbol, which means this symbol represents the bottom of the stack. And generally, we're going to write other symbols into the cells above it. Now, you can actually delete this symbol, the Z sub 0. But it's this imaginary cafeteria, you know, that used to be, maybe you'd have 50 plates stacked up. We used to take 1 plate, and that's where we'd put our food on. Now, they don't let us touch the food. They do it. If you actually took the Z sub 0, you can't put food on it. It's like metal. It's actually welded to the bottom. So that's the bottom of stack marker, and that's to prevent underflow. Okay. So, and you can pop and push from that stack. If you're pushing, you're putting items on top of the Z sub 0. You'll see that in a moment. And if you're popping, you're taking something off the stack. And actually, you'll be able to write more than 1 symbol onto the stack. You know, you push multiple symbols. We'll see. And the control is like the algorithm, the brains. So we would say, no, I can't say because I didn't put a state. But we're in some state. Oh, when we're starting, we're in Q sub 0. We're staring at a left paren, and we have the bottom of stack marker on the top of the stack, the Z sub 0. And by the way, again, every textbook has a different notation. Okay, so let's see, the book I grew up on, oh my God, I can't remember it. Okay. But in any case, Z sub 0 is for that particular book, Hopcroft and Ullman. Okay. So yeah. And Sipser, I think some of my colleagues use Sipser's text, Sipser. And by the way, since your book is free, you should have got your PDF by now. If you like, you can always use another book as a reference. Okay, so we're in Q sub 0, I'm assuming it, scanning a left paren, and there's a Z sub 0 on top of the stack. And what do we do? If we're trying, we'll see the algorithm in a moment. But essentially, we want to put something on top of the Z sub 0 that will help us to remember that at some point in time, some point in the analysis of this string, we were scanning a left paren. So maybe we would put a plate. Let's just do it lightly now. Put a plate on top of the Z sub 0, okay? And move the read head to the right 1 square. So we're right there. You can see my finger, I assume. And so now you see another left paren. Put another, your book is going to want to put a different symbol on the stack. I like to just use the symbol we're looking at. So left paren, and so the stack has 3 elements. Z sub 0, left paren. Now we see a right paren in the third space. And I always think of Greek restaurants. And in the old days, they used to throw plates. The music would play and you'd be throwing plates around. These days, because they're worried about lawsuits, you go to a nice Greek restaurant, they give you flowers. You buy the flowers, then you're allowed to throw them. Nobody gets hurt. So see a right paren. What you're going to do, again, use your imagination. The stack contains Z sub 0 and 2 left parens below it. Z sub 0, left. Now you're scanning a right paren, toss one of the left parens away. Okay, so the stack, bottom to top, Z sub 0, left. Now you see another right paren. Pop the left paren off the stack. So you're now at the last square here, and only Z sub 0 is left on the stack. If that happens, the number of left parens must have been equal to the number of right parens. So if you want to recognize this language, what language? The language of well-balanced parenthesized expressions, you can solve that problem. I know, we just said it was impossible, undecidable. No, that's not what we said. We said that problem was undecidable on a finite state machine. This is not an FSM. This is a pushdown automaton. So the language is acceptable on a PDA. The problem, we say language, that's going to be synonymous with problem. We'll see that. Okay, so problems that are unsolvable on one model of computation might be solvable on yet another. Okay, Anvin, go ahead. So a PDA to recognize a subset. For now, we're just looking at a subset of the language. Well-balanced parenthesized expressions. So we want an expression, a little more concise than me waving my hands. A language expression. So the third line down, L, capital L for language, curly bracket on the left, curly bracket on the right. We said a language is a set. Again, chapter 0, I said you sort of have to read, and by the way, this is not in the text, all of this. This is in the text, but way up in chapter 10. But we're doing a spiral approach. We're quickly going through the material, and we'll see it again in slow motion. Don't panic. that you say, oh my God, does he talk this quickly all the time? Okay, no. So L, language expression, is left to the N, right to the N. The vertical line should be read as such that. If you like, you can say S period, T period, such that. So the language that we want to consider is left to the N. It's the third line we're reading together. Left to the N, right to the N. N is greater than or equal to 1. So the language expression is what's written here. The language is what this expression is denoting. So a language, the middle bullet, is merely a set of strings. And again, we're going to be defining those terms, I promise, a little bit later. So a language expression is shorthand to help us denote specific languages. Okay? And you will see how this ties in with a compiler being used to figure out what the heck your program, your 10,000 lines of code. Again, we said it several times, computers do not understand C++. You can't talk in C++ and expect the machine to say, okay, I got you. No, the machine needs to translate the C++ expression into machine code. To get that machine code, you're going to, perhaps, there are other algorithms, but we can have parsing algorithms based upon push-down automata. We'll see a couple of examples once we get past the theoretical chapters. We'll come back and see where it actually gets used. But I always like to look at the material and say it's beautiful and that's enough. And students, of course, want to beat me up for saying stuff like that. You want to know what it's good for, so you'll see that. Okay. So here is, I'm sorry, like I said, when I gave these notes out, nobody wanted to actually type them up for me, all these pictures. But this is the algorithm that represents the push-down automaton that deals with the language we were just discussing. And be careful, this push-down automaton is capable of recognizing the set of well-balanced parentheses. Almost. All the left parens have to come first, and then the right parens, I believe. So if you want a normal language like left, right, left, right, etc., you know what a well-balanced arithmetic expression looks like. This doesn't handle all of them, but it handles the ones in which all the left parens come first. When we talk later on, chapter 10, we'll talk about context-free grammars. Maybe you talked about grammars back in junior high. Oh my God, my English teacher used to get from the floor and he would jump straight up and he'd be on top of the desk. I guess he did that whenever one of us was sleeping. The trouble with the Zoom is you guys can be, unless you're snoring, I'm not going to know that you're sleeping. But all right, so here we are, and we're in state 0, okay? Now, I'm looking at the time because I want to get, we got a nice joke coming up, I think. So I don't want to miss it. How many pages we got in these notes, Anvin?
Not sure.
For this lesson?
27. Maybe.
All right, hold on. Okay, 27, and we're on, where the hell are we?
We're on 15.
15. So, okay, we got time. So I won't do it in too much detail, but we'll come back. So we're in Q0, the initial state. And by the way, let's look at the English right below it. So before you go crazy with all those symbols. So if there's a left paren, I'm reading the English below the, I refer to these algorithms sometimes, and you will affectionately as well soon, as circles and lines. We're really trying to write out algorithms, but we're not using a language like C++. We're using a language of circles and lines, right? This is our theoretical models. So this is us writing an algorithm. And after a while, you begin to see, yeah, this is an algorithm. We have the if-then statements and what you should do. So if a left paren is on the input tape, you know what that looks like. The cells, up top. And there's a z sub 0 on the stack. We said z sub 0 marks the bottom of the stack. So if you're trying to get lunch in the cafeteria 3-4 years back, actually the food was better in those days. Don't knock it. Last year, the cafeteria was terrible. So z sub 0 is on the stack, and you're in state q sub 0. That's the way you should interpret this. That's state q0, that circle. And the next thing we see is a left paren. Very nice. There's a z sub 0 on the stack. The other head is scanning this. Again, you got to use your imagination. You see your notes. You may want to print your notes out so you can refer to a few pages at once. Z sub 0 on the stack, and you're in state q sub 0. Okay. Then what you should do is pop z sub 0 from the stack. Okay. Push an A onto the stack. Why are we pushing an A onto the stack? Somebody tell me. Look at that second instruction in the curly brackets. You saw a left paren. Why are we now pushing an A onto the stack? Somebody take a guess out there. There's 46 of you. One of you 46. Again, I only know 3 of your names. I got to get the roster, and I'm gonna start calling names at random. That's all. You got to talk to me.
Is that standard?
Who is this?
Ismail.
Say it again.
Ismail. You can just call me Izzy.
Like the religion.
Yeah, sure.
ISLAM?
No. Do you know the name Ishmael?
Oh, the beginning
okay.
of Moby Dick.
Yeah, sure.
Call me Ishmael.
Yeah.
That's the first sentence. We all had to read those books in high school. Okay, so all right, Ishmael, tell me.
Is that like a temporary variable situation, like a placeholder?
That's too fancy. I don't know if that's precise enough, though. It's
Okay.
to stand for the fact that you saw a left paren. You saw a left paren. How are you going to remember it? You're not changing states. What you're doing now is you're putting a left paren on the stack. I'm sorry, you're putting an A on the stack to remember that there was a left parenthesis. So when you look at the stack and you see 1A on the stack, again, so I'm using an A now. That means so far we've seen 1 left paren on the input tape. Is that okay? And go to state Q1. Why are we going to state Q1? Because now there might be 10,000 left parens in a row. And careful, we're not building this machine to recognize that we saw left paren right or left, left, right, right. We're building this algorithm to recognize left to the n, right to the n, such that n is greater than or equal to whatever it was, 0 or 1. Is that clear? This algorithm will recognize an infinite number of strings that are well-balanced parenthesized expressions with the proviso. I said this is like a simplified version. Wait till we get to context-free grammars in chapter 10, and you can have any well-balanced parenthesized expression you wish, and we won't have trouble. But we'll get there.
Professor?
Yeah, go ahead.
When it says push these
Hold
symbols
it. Is this Ishmael again?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, always when you talk, since I don't see you, but you see me, you got to say your name first. Until I know you so well that you don't have to say your name.
Okay.
If Victoria starts talking, I know who she is. If Anvin starts talking, I know who he is, since you've talked enough. Go ahead.
Where it says push these symbols onto the stack, and then it says pop this symbol from the stack. Which one
Wait a
is it
minute, where
referring
is
to?
that?
The
Oh, okay.
top middle.
Yeah, push this symbol from the stack.
Is that referring to the
That
A?
means push. You see on the stack in state Q1, look at where we are in state Q1. You saw, this was for the first one. I'm sorry, for the first left paren. You put an A on the stack and you went to Q1. And that's sort of saying, hey, we're getting started. Now in Q1, look what you see. A left paren comes in, and A is on the stack. That's what that middle symbol means. And now AA, what that means is there used to be, you sort of have to have two stack symbols at the same time. The first A, the first A, you see two A's in a row. In state Q1, the third item up top is, you got an A and then an A. The rightmost A, excuse me, is the A that was put in the last nanosecond, you know, make believe it's computer speeds. Left A, and to make your life even more confusing, some textbooks reverse this interpretation. And I was using a textbook, I had two theory courses, one grad, one undergrad. And when you see AA as you do here, above state Q1, one book said the leftmost A is the first one. And of course, the other book said the rightmost A is the second one. And I had to keep track of both classes, obviously. The students didn't, but that's a way to drive you nuts. So in this text, Taylor, Models of Computation, the rightmost A, you got AA, that's the A that we already processed. It's on the stack. The second A is the one that just came in. That's just to its left. And now you can keep going. Maybe there's 10,000 more A's. That's a legitimate string. It would be 10,002 left parens, followed by, if it's correct, 10,002 right parens. Okay, so that's a loop. And the way I tell my students, so that maybe you don't feel this is a Martian language, is you can think of, go back to Q0, and you see a left paren, Z sub 0. Then write an A on the stack and leave the Z sub 0 where it was. That's like an if statement. If this, then do that. If you see a left paren and Z sub 0 in the top stack symbol, then write an A on top of the Z sub 0 and move to state Q1. So think of an if statement. If what? If you see a left paren, well, I'm not going to say it again. That's like an if statement. But now look at state Q1. Left paren, comma, A, semicolon. Oh, I love that. The Board of Education in New York City says that by the time you get into 5th grade, you should be able to use semicolons correctly. So if your mother or father is a school teacher and I'm screwing up my use of parentheses, don't tell me. So, okay. So then write an A on top of the A that was on the stack. So now the stack has two A's, and beneath it is the Z sub 0. That's all there is. And now this is the rest of the language. You see a right paren. You see leaving state Q1, moving to the right. See a right paren. Now you see an A. And this is tricky. Epsilon. I know we didn't get to that yet. Epsilon is the empty string. Maybe in 104, some of you might have seen that. And that means erase. You put two left parens on the stack. Now you're seeing an A, you're seeing a right paren, excuse me. So take, this is to balance the last left paren that you saw. Erase it. So this epsilon says erase one of the A's on the stack. Okay, you're in state Q2. You see another right paren. Okay, this says in Q2, see a right paren, erase the epsilon, that third symbol tells you to erase the symbol you saw before it. A semicolon epsilon. So the stack is empty. But you can see I'm lying a little bit. The white lie is that there's a Z sub 0 on the stack, right? Look after Q2. If the stack is empty, I mean almost empty, and you see Z sub 0, but Z sub 0 is the bottom of stack marker. So if you're in the cafeteria trying to get food, Z sub 0 says there's no food left, but we're telling you that. So there's something there. And epsilon. So you're in Q3 and the stack is empty. So you could read the while loop on your own. I'm going to let you do that. And we'll try to do this with a, a board next time so we can actually write in class. But okay, you saw 2 left parens, then you changed state and you saw 2 right parens. And each time when you saw a left paren, you stacked an A. When you saw a right paren, you threw an A out. Be careful. The reason we change states between processing left parens and right parens, what if I gave you the string left paren, right paren, left paren, right paren? Left, right, yeah, that's balanced, but that's not the language we were working with. We wanted all our left parentheses to come first. Again, we'll come back and we'll do it nice and slow, and I will, write this out as well. Okay, Anvin? So look, if you didn't get that, all relax. We'll do it in slow motion. So here we are tracing the computation that we were just talking about. Q0 left, Z sub 0, A Z sub 0. So let me not look at the machine up top, just look at the pictures. Left, left, right, right. That's the bottom, it's in red. So we're in Q0 and we're scanning the leftmost symbol. Since you're scanning, we didn't get to the left paren yet. So at this stage in Q0, the only symbol on the stack is the bottom of stack marker. Okay, I think you can see that. Now the push down automaton moves its head 1 square to the right, 1 cell to the right, and we're scanning a second left parenthesis. And observe that we wrote an A on top of the stack in the second picture there. Okay, so yeah, the string is there, but we've only processed, 1 left paren. And now we're looking at the second left paren, and we're going to process that now too. Go ahead, Anvin. And there you go. Notice we're always 1 ahead of the symbol that was just processed. I see it. We're looking at the third paren. It's a right paren, but we've only processed 2. That's cool. So the stack has 2 A's. Well, Z sub 0 goes without saying. And the 2 A's represent left paren. Picture to the right of it, time 3, if you will. Left, left, right, right. We've processed the first. The third symbol is a right parenthesis. When you see a right parenthesis, that's the reason you bought flowers in the Greek restaurant, so you can throw plates away. So we will throw out the right paren, the first one. And now look at the stack. Z sub 0, A above it. Okay. And now we're looking at the last symbol, but we didn't process it yet. Anvin, 1 more. And now finally, I know we got past it, but now we finally process it. Notice in time 4, the stack is empty because the last 2 parentheses were right parens. They balanced the left parens that came earlier. So it's a well-balanced expression. What you may want to do now, we'll see later in chapter 9, sometimes we want the stack to really be empty. So that means erase the Z sub 0. We'll get used to this, I promise. And the string gets accepted. And a push-down automaton can accept a string. A string is, 1 element in a language. If it can process every string correctly, then it recognizes the whole language. Okay. And here you are, empty stack. You've scanned the entire input string at time 5, and we're in state 3. And we'll say more about that a little bit later. Anvin, yeah.
Professor, I have a question.
Who's the? No, you didn't do it. What's your name?
Sorry, this is Saiful.
Say it again.
Saiful. S-A-I-F-U-L. Saiful.
S-A-I, I'm sorry,
S-
say it again.
S-A-Saiful.
Saful.
Basically, yeah, you got it. Sure.
All right, Saful.
Um,
What country?
Bangladesh.
Ah, just like Ray. Okay, Saful. Go ahead.
So, would you consider an empty expression to be a well-balanced parenthesized expression?
Ah, uh, I can answer yes or no. If the language expression is, again, this is where all the left parens come first, and then the right parens. If I write as a language expression, again, I'm sorry, I'll figure out how to write as well. So since my screen is capable of handling that, left paren to the n, right paren to the n, such that n is greater than or equal to 0. That's a language where the empty string is in the language. If we instead have left paren to the n, right paren to the n, such that the vertical line n is greater than or equal to 1, then the empty string, no left, no right, is not in there. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not. You just have, you got the idea.
Right.
If I explain it, I'm sure I'll confuse myself. So
No, I was asking that
again, we're
because
just starting, so it's okay to see that we're moving quickly. It'll seem like it makes sense soon. Give it time.
all right.
All right. Anvin, next. Okay. Oh. And go back one, I think. Oh, I'm sorry, the last bullet. So now we have the push-down automaton model in our heads. Let's try to recognize L, the language, L for language, capital L. A to the N, B to the N, C to the N. N is greater than or equal to 1. And think of word processing. Let me see. You got some string on your computer, and you want to underline all N symbols. Okay. Well, first you want to write it. Write your N copies of A. There you go. You just typed it. Then you want to underline things. So B could be go back, backspace, back up, N squares. Okay. Now you're underneath the leftmost A. And then it says C to the N. So this is like a word processing task. The NCs could mean you now wish to underline each of the symbols. So write down NAs, backspace N spaces, and now please underline all N of the A's. So that's word processors can do this. You can do it on a typewriter. You don't even need a computer. So that's simple. But if you try to solve this problem on a push-down automaton, you're going to be out of luck. And think about it. We can think now without looking at a picture. A to the N. Oh, let's put N copies of A on the stack. Okay, they're up there. We just did it. We know how to do that. Then N copies of B. Every time you see a B, erase an A from the stack. Boom, the stack is empty. Now, C to the N. What the heck was the value of N? I forgot to tell you. In this, maybe I did. In this course, counting is a dirty word. Don't tell me count. If you use a register to count how many symbols there were, you're not using a push-down automaton. You're using a digital computer. You can't do that. We're trying to work with theoretical models. You put down your N copies of A. They're up on the stack. You balanced it with the N copies of B. The stack is empty. Now I ask you to please give me N copies of C. And the machine does this, since you can see my face. This is the look of bepuzzlement. There's no way to solve this on a push-down automaton. Okay. So
Professor?
this language is unsolvable on a PDA. All right, we had a problem, hold on. We had a problem before that was unsolvable on a finite state machine, but we were able to solve it using a pushdown automaton. Now, we have a problem that's unsolvable on a pushdown automaton. What the heck do we do? Yeah, go ahead.
It's me.
Anvin, go ahead. Yeah.
No, it's Ismail.
Wait a minute, who is it?
Ismail or Ishmael.
Oh, Islam. Okay, Ishmael. I like Ishmael better. We're out at
Okay.
sea and we're trying to get the killer whale. All right, Ishmael.
Sure. Can you repeat that point about why we don't count?
It's a dirty word.
You
We're
said
trying to
we're
use, hold it. We're trying to use theoretical models of computation. Nowhere in the description of these algorithms was the notion of a count. To use a count, you need a register. You don't get a register unless you have a computer. If you're using a computer, why is the name of this course theoretical computer science? Theoretical means it's a mathematical model, not a physical model. I'm working on a laptop. You got a laptop that you're watching my notes on and you see my pretty face. But there's no physical computer when you're talking about a push-down automaton. That's mathematics, it's functions. There is no register. If you got a register, you're working on a computer. Then why are we bothering with a course in theory? Theory, we're doing
Gotcha.
mathematics. Okay. Scroll it, and I'm sorry, I know the class is supposed to end at 4:45, and I know this is the first time we didn't get interrupted, but please give me 5 minutes beyond. I know you got a Snickers bar you've been waiting to bite into. You could bite into it. I can't see you. Eat your candy. But please let me go a little over time. All right, Anvin, scroll. There you go. Nobody say count. Why is counting forbidden? Because then you're using a computer. You're not dealing with a push-down automaton. All right, scroll. Turing machines once more. L equals A to the n, B to the n, C to the n. This language is impossible to recognize on a PDA. But on a Turing machine, we could recognize it. Okay. So for this one, we should write as well. So let's hold this and so we're going to come back to this obviously on Monday. We're not finished with lesson 2, but scroll for us, Amjan. All right, so we got to have a joke. So you got to give me 5-6 minutes. If you're a comedian, suppose that's what you do for a living. You make jokes and you want people. I can't stand comedians that are just starting up because it's so damn boring. They're trying too hard to make us laugh. But this is a joke. And you got a priest, a preacher, and a rabbi. And they're friends. They go into their favorite bar. So this is like a setup, which means if you're a comedian and I tell you this much, you should be able to make a joke up right now. And you should be able to tell us what the joke is. That's what a good comedian can do. This is called the setup or the premise, okay? Where they get together 2 or 3 times a week for drinks and to talk shop, all right? On this afternoon, one of the 3 makes the comment, preaching to people isn't really all that hard. A real challenge would be if we could take a bear and try to give it religion. So there we, the animal. One thing led to another. They're, chatting in the over the beers together. So each of them promised they'd go out to the woods during the week. They'll come back next week and say what happened. They're going to find a bear. They're going to preach to it, and they're going to attempt to convert it. You've all heard about missionaries, and they're trying to convert us to their religion or whatever. So 7 days later, the 3 of them come back to this bar. They want to discuss what happened. Father Flannery, that's the priest, of course, that's a good Irish name, has his arm in a sling like this. And he's on crutches. And he's got various bandages. He goes first. All right. Well, he says to the other two religious folks, I went into the woods to find me a bear. And when I found him, I began to read to him from the Catechism. That's a book we, the Catholic religion, all the premises that we have in there. Well, that bear wanted nothing to do with me, and he began to slap me around. So I quickly grabbed my holy water. Catholic priests always have holy water, that if they put some on your chin, you're not going to have any problems. It's going to make you happy, whatever. God is going to be good to you. And I sprinkled some holy water on him, on the bear. And Holy Mary, Mother of God, that's an expression priests like to give. They don't curse. He became gentle as a lamb. The bishop is coming out next week to give him First Communion and confirmation. That sort of steps in being a good Catholic. Okay. Reverend Billy Bob, that's the Protestant guy, the preacher. In his best fire and brimstone oratory, he claimed, well, brothers, you know that we don't sprinkle. They don't have holy water, Protestants. I went out and I found me a bear. And then I began to read to my bear from God's holy word. But that bear wanted nothing to do with me. So I took hold of him and we began to wrestle. The preacher and the bear are fighting. We wrestled down one hill, up another, down another, and we came to a creek. The Protestants like to use a whole damn lake or creek to do their religious work, not holy water. So I dunked him and baptized him, his hairy soul. And just like you said, he became as gentle as a lamb. We spent the rest of the day praising Jesus. So that's a good Protestant. They're talking about Jesus. Okay. So they both look at the poor rabbi who's lying in a hospital bed. He was in a body cast. He's got that tape all over his body and traction with IVs and monitors, beep, 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 and running in and out of him. He was in bad shape. All right, and you're supposed to finish the joke. So here at the bottom, the rabbi looks up and says, looking back on it, circumcision may not have been the best way to start. And I know if English is your second language, I don't know how to say circumcision in French, so you may not know the word. But what's happening with circumcision is the rabbi is trying to cut some of the bear's private parts. So you don't do that to a bear and expect the bear to be to be happy about it. Okay, that's the punchline. Okay, so scroll one more. Okay, so that was the joke, all right, with the three religious folks. Now, the computational power of a PDA is greater than that of an FSM. And there are problems unsolvable on a finite state machine that can be solved on a PDA. You can recognize well-balanced parenthesized expressions with a pushdown automaton. You can't do it with a finite state machine. When we get to this problem next time, a Turing machine is more powerful meaning that a greater set of problems can be solved on a Turing machine than can be solved on a PDA. So A to the N, B to the N, C to the N, using a stack, a PDA can't solve it. No way. The stack is empty, you still got to recognize N copies of C. So that problem, that language, is unsolvable on a PDA. But a Turing machine, we're going to see next time, can solve the problem. All right, Anvin, click again. The Church-Turing thesis. This is sort of why we did all that. The computational power of a digital computer, not a Turing machine, not a theoretical model. The laptop that you use to make money with if you lend out your skills. So the computational power of a digital computer you know, with power supplies and flip-flops and transistors is equivalent to that of a Turing machine. So anything you can do with your digital machine in your house there, I could do on a Turing machine. We'll see how, you know, Turing machines work, hopefully next time, if not the time after. Anvin, one
I have a
more.
question on that?
Hold on. Let me go first.
Okay.
So punchline, if a problem can be shown to be unsolvable on a Turing machine, then the problem is unsolvable on a digital computer. So this is why we deal with these theoretical models. We want to prove that there are some problems in computer science that are unsolvable. Not unsolvable on a theoretical model, who cares? We make our money using real computers. Now we're claiming that if the problem can't be solved on a Turing machine, this is nothing you should believe yet, but we're getting there. Give us a couple of months and we'll get there. But if a problem could be shown to be unsolvable on a Turing machine, then the problem is unsolvable on a digital computer. Most computer scientists believe, so this is called the Turing-Church thesis. Again, some books call it the Church-Turing thesis. Some books say Turing thesis, and of course, some books say Church thesis. Now, this is a thesis, not a theorem. So I ask you the question, does God exist? You can't prove that to me, yes or no. God must exist because the world is so beautiful. The stars, beautiful women, you know, Beethoven's music. That's too beautiful. You can't tell me people did that without God. Or God does not exist. Why do children die early? How come some kids are born with cancer, you know, their first 3 years of life? You can't tell me there's a God that permits that. So, hold on, in a minute. So you can't prove it either way. All right, so go ahead. I think that was it, the last one. Anvin, click. That was, okay. So the joke that we had was to get us ready for, you know, where the course is going. We want to be able to prove that certain problems are unsolvable, not on a Turing machine. We don't give a damn about Turing machines, but we're going to spend a lot of time working with them because computer scientists believe that the Turing-Church thesis, Turing machines have the same computational power as digital computers and vice versa. So if a problem can't be solved on a Turing machine, it can't be solved on a digital machine, a digital computer, period. And when we say period in English, that means end of the story, end of discussion. All right, go ahead. Somebody had a question.
Yeah, I have one. So it's Mikhail speaking again.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so if you say Turing machines have the same computational power, just as the modern computers, so that means that in terms of intelligence,
No, nothing to do with intelligence. In terms of the ability to solve a problem, if I give you 10,000 keys, what's a key? A number that you use to reference a file with, and I want them sorted. That's a problem. And you could do it on your laptop. Again, some of my 220 students are here. You took 220 this summer before last, when there was a world out there. And we had solid sorting problems, and we can solve them. So those kind of problems.
Yeah, I see.
Go ahead. Was that Mikhail? Who was that?
Oh yeah, that was me. Thank you. Yeah, I got it.
All right. So no, but you shouldn't believe me now. I mean, what we need to do is to solve 10, 15, 20 problems using a Turing machine. We haven't even done one yet, actually. Once we solve some problems, we'll show how to sort. You know, we'll do quite a few things using a Turing machine. you're going to begin to believe that when you want to solve problems, you can solve them using a Turing machine model. The problem is, of course, that a Turing machine is 1,000,000 times slower than a digital computer. We don't care about speed in this course. We care about, can it be done? If you give me as much time as I need, can it be done? And that's what we're after. And you shouldn't believe it yet. You know, we didn't prove anything, but that's the direction in which we're going. To make it seem sensical, the Turing Church thesis, you should shake your head and say, yeah, I believe. Okay, you shouldn't believe yet, but we'll get there. Okay, so now we're done with the class, but anyone who's got some questions, there's one person, this is her first class she's attending. I'll sort of get you, you know, straightened out. Okay. So you're cool. If you got questions, hang around. Otherwise, my God, I told you I have some good scotch behind me. If I could get it to you virtually, we ought to have a drink. We made it through a whole class without Zoom blowing up on us. Yeah, that's awful. The school, like I said, NYIT, they gave me a version of Zoom the first day, well, the first day of the pandemic last spring, and I was able to use it. It never kicked up on me like this. All right, peace. I'll see you.
Professor, I
Wait
got
a
a
minute,
question.
Monday is Labor Day,
Labor
is
Day,
it not?
yeah.
So what did we say the first day? You're going to get a
Wednesday.
Zoom welcome on Monday. I am not going to be here. I'm going to be in a nice restaurant, eating outside, of course. So we said that you need the computer and you need common sense. And if it's a holiday, so again, please, the City College academic calendar, you will see that Monday, September 7th, it says no school. That means I'm not here. I don't want you here. Go out. Go with your friends. Relax a little. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just had a question with, do you know how certain graphics cards
Wait a
implement?
minute. This is this Ishmael?
Yeah, it's me. Sorry,
No,
Ismail, yeah.
you got, please, you know, at the
Oh,
beginning. You
okay.
can see I do remember after a while, but because we do have 47 students in the class, and I'm
I hear you.
hoping we get more to participate than just the 3 or 4 of you. But go ahead.
So I think it's Turing-based architecture is the term that's being used in certain GPUs.
Okay.
In NVIDIA, but they recently switched to something called Ampere. So do you know anything about that? Like, why would they
Ampere?
stop? Yeah, they stopped using Turing and then they switched to something called Ampere.
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Give that question to Ray
Ishmael.
and tell him
Yeah.
he's got to chat with me. Maybe Ray knows.
Yeah, that's just a name. They're not actually using a Turing machine. So like a GPU.
Oh, no, nobody uses Turing machines.
You know,
Oh,
but
okay.
like
I could have told you that.
they're just using Turing kind of to as a name for the Turing architecture. I know they're moving to Ampere now, but
Mhm.
like a GPU, really what it is, the best way to think about it is it's just a giant fucking calculator. Like it does a lot of matrix. Think of it like this. It's very, very good at doing matrix multiplication and matrix calculations. And that's why the more CUDA cores you have, the more tensor cores you have, the more RTX cores you have, the ray tracing and all that, that's kind of how GPUs do everything. When we're talking about computability, we're talking about something that a CPU can do, right? A GPU is just doing simple math that even a CPU can do, but it's more
But
optimized.
they're very fast. Yeah.
Yeah, they're optimized for it, so it's more efficient for a GPU to do it. It just does all the math, it gives it to the CPU, it renders the scene, and you get your game, right? That's what a GPU is for. But when we're talking about computability, we're specifically referring to something that a CPU can do or a computer can do, right? And if a Turing machine can solve a problem, there's no way in hell that any regular computer, supercomputer can solve it. And if a CPU can solve something, odds are that the GPU can do that math, right? It's like saying X plus Y equals to 34. What is X and Y? We don't know. And there's no way in hell
You need
that,
another equation. Yeah.
yeah, and there's no way in hell, there's two unknowns you can't solve for it. There's no way in hell that the GPU can solve for it as well. If the
All right.
CPU
I
can't
got you.
do it,
Oh,
the GPU
thank you.
can do it.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
peace.
Professor, I think it's the end of the lecture. Can I get access to your computer?
But there might be some more questions. You can still have the screen and I'd be able to talk to everybody?
Yeah.
All right, I don't need the computer now. All right, I'm approving. Okay, go ahead. Have fun. Anybody with questions out there?
A lot of participants are leaving. There are 15
There's
people
only
left.
15 of you left, okay. 14, 13, 11, 10, 9, 8,
8.
7, 6,
Goodbye,
5,
everyone.
4. So we made it through the whole class with no
I guaranteed it. I guaranteed it.
All right, good man.
Okay.
All right,
so
I'll
the
be back. Hang in there.
Yeah. Okay.
1 minute. Ah. Oof.
Professor, you back?
So Ray,
Yeah.
so when it says 2, that means you and me?
Yep. I want you to do me a favor. I
So
want
I
you
can
to.
do anything and students can't hear me. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, I'm gonna call you on your phone, right?
Yeah.
And then once I call you on your phone, we can hang up this call. As soon as we hang up this call, I will not be able to see your screen, but I want to give you some directions, okay?
Wait a minute. You're going to give me directions on the machine you're going to talk or over the phone?
Actually, you know what? It just makes more sense for me to actually make a. Give me 1 second. The students are thanking me.
Oh, in person?
Yeah, they were emailing me thank you notes, and they're all happy and they're
Oh,
so happy.
that we didn't have an interruption. Yeah, that's frustrating for them too. They're wasting half an hour.
No, it's also because like when you were giving some of the lectures, I kind of on the side in the chat, I kept talking about like when you were talking about like if a Turing machine can solve it, someone asked like, what do you mean in terms of what, like time complexity or what? And then I explained like,
No, I heard that at the end, of course.
yeah, and I was like, no, I actually wrote it in the chat before. So like as you were saying it, I was giving like additional context so that they would understand it
No,
easily.
that's cool.
I said like in terms of computability, if a Turing machine can solve a problem, it might take months compared to a digital computer, which can do it instantly, but it can still do it. If a Turing machine can solve a problem, there's no way in hell a digital computer, even a supercomputer.
Oh, no. We get to the, you were in the course. We get to that in more detail much later.
I'm just reading what I wrote, right? And then one of the
No,
students
that's cool.
replied.
Yeah, I'm sort of saying we creep up, and each time the topic comes up, I go a little deeper.
Yeah, I know. But
Okay.
like I basically, one of the students was like, what about a super duper computer with like gaming
No,
lights?
we'll get to that. Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'm going to make a Zoom link. I want you to click on it. I'll email it to you. All right. So let me schedule a meeting right now. I'm going to leave this meeting. I'll send you the link and then I'll control your computer and set everything up from there.
Go ahead. I'll just wait till we still have my notes up.
Okay.
Stop share. Ray, do you need some time to do something else? Because I got some people called me and I'll. You're there? Hello? Okay. The meeting host will let you in soon. So I clicked without asking you. I'm finally getting the rhythm here. The host has asked you to start your video. Start my video. Did I have the tree in my background this time? But did I have it during the class? You got to remind, no, so they saw the scotch today. Okay. All right, good man. Now I need the tree on the right as it is with you. Last time the tree was on the left in the AI class. You lose points for this. All right, no, thank you. This was much nicer, you know, when I can go like this and chat, what was that, 47 students? Yeah, and I get a rhythm. You know, I'm on a roll. The hot air is coming in and I don't get distracted by Zoom problems. Go ahead. One second. It says you are screen sharing. It's telling me that. The blue button, the bottom, wait a minute. We're looking on top, right? You said bottom left. Me on the top, the bottom right? I see a Zoom button. Ah, see, like you said, they come and they go. That's the problem. It wasn't there, now it is. The leftmost, the green share. My God, it's so small. It's like a little thin strip. I'm gonna click. Is that better? I see you. On top, you are screen sharing with my face in there. And to the right is the option to stop the share. Ah, yeah, you see, it wasn't there, now it is. When I move my mouse, now go ahead, bottom right, what do I see? Yeah, share screen. Okay, like I said, it comes and it goes. Now it's here. I just hit it, and I'm seeing three windows. The leftmost is you. Yeah, I'm not. That says share. Okay. That's cool. Go ahead. All right, I'm okay. I got you. See, I'm okay. I just said approve. It's not. It didn't record this lecture. It did, because I had that was a beautiful joke. You mean we're still recording?